This video was not paid for or sponsored by any of the brands discussed in this video. Hello guys, this is Michael, also known as Lasersniper, and welcome back to Discovering Alcohol, where I have I wouldn't want to say interesting, but not really. I mean, there's a little story to it, because there is. I'm sorry, I'm really tired. It's like 2 in the morning right now, but I need to record this. So, this week I decided that because I couldn't get to any place to buy anything different, I went down to my local Shell station and bought the basics. Budweiser, Bud Light, and there was something air something, or I want to call it Air Light, but the internet says that doesn't exist. I can't remember what I drank, but I was told later by friends that it was probably the worst alcohol beer I could have picked up. It was the cheapest of the cheap, in America at least. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. So, I decided to... I told you guys I'd be doing it 1 a week, but because of circumstances of this week, mainly Super Bowl and me having additional chances to drink, I decided to... It couldn't hurt this once. Please, any family watching this, I know... Just don't mention anything about that sentence. Please. I know what I'm doing. I don't, but I understand what I'm doing. It's complicated. Anyway, I drank all three, and just because I've been told there was not a lot of difference, and mostly people were right, there wasn't a lot of difference. The Bud and the Bud Light and the Air whatever, or the Light, the other one, I couldn't really tell much of a difference. I wouldn't say they were bad. They just tasted like alcohol. No flavoring, really, at all. None that I could tell. And then I had the Budweiser, which... It was... I don't know. It was floatier in my mouth, if that makes any sense. Lighter. No, it wasn't less strong, I can tell you that. But, I don't know. It was just... There was something just a teeny bit different about it. I can't tell you what it was. I'm still trying to define my tastes because they're still very, very blunt. So, I don't know. I can tell you I like the Budweiser better than the other two. Better than Bud Light, better than that Air or that Light other thing. Man, I really wish I could remember what I drank. No, I don't have it in the trash can. But yeah, like the Budweiser the best. Honestly, if I had to buy something cheaper, I would probably go Budweiser. Of course, that's not saying I've drank in all of the cheap stuff, but those are the American classics. Well, American classics. That's the one that are always, those are the ones that are always advertised. It's like, yeah, go get it, because it's cheap. And man, was it cheap? Jeez, I didn't even spend over $5 for 3 cans, you know, the tall ones, 24 ounces. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for my thoughts of the beers. Now here's the story. So, you guys know it's Super Bowl. Well, I mean, when I recorded this was Super Bowl yesterday. It's 2 a.m., so yesterday it was Super Bowl. And I spent it with my grandmother. She was, unfortunately, alone watching the Super Bowl, so after prompting from my parents, which I didn't know my grandmother was alone, otherwise I would have gone on my own accord, but that's not what we're talking about. I went over and spent Super Bowl with her, and that was actually pretty enjoyable. We had laughed at the commercials. I didn't understand any of football, but acted interested. I'll be honest, it was a little bit interesting, I guess. That's a tiny bit. It wasn't a snore fest. I'll give you that. And I had an interesting experience with Budweiser. That was the one I drank today. It was a 24-ounce can, 5% alcohol. I'm going to assume that's pretty much what all Budweisers are, or at least around that. Very slight difference. And I just drank and drank, and I drank the whole thing. I mean, like, like you do. And then I had to stand up and go to the bathroom. And I stood up, and I almost tripped right over and landed on my grandmother's end table. I was completely taken aback, because I had control of my legs, but they were a lot less maneuverable than I remembered. And that's when, depending on who you asked, I experienced my first bit of being tipsy or drunk. Like I said, depends on who you ask. You can't ask me because I don't know the difference. I assume drunk you'd be in a lot less control of yourself. And the person who called me drunk was my sister, who, to be honest, thought when I had rubbed some skin off of my cheek from sucking on too many suckers that I had thrush. So she tends to overreact a little bit. So I'm just thinking I was a little bit tipsy. That was fun, by the way, because that was really interesting how I just wasn't able to. My legs, I could feel them, I could move them, but I had to really kind of concentrate. I couldn't just walk without me kind of wibble wobbling. It was an interesting feeling, being out of control. It was like, what did I like it to? It was like I had spun around and around and around. You know when you're a kid and you just spin and spin and spin and spin and spin and spin, and then you have that dizzy. Tell me, Buzz. Whatever. And you feel dizzy, and then you feel sick afterward, because when you go older, you can't really do that. Well, it was like that without getting sick. Which I imagine I would get sick if I continued to drink. But, yeah. I was really surprised by this, because I'd only drank in 24 ounces. Well, it was, okay, 2 beers. Yeah, sure, 5%. I have drunken more. I've drunken a big bottle, I think at least 24 ounces of 9%. I'm like, why in the world is this affecting me? And then my grandmother reminded me, hey, Michael, you only had a muffin today. You haven't eaten anything. And I'm like, oh yeah, that probably does have something to do with it. So I was just having pure alcohol in my stomach with a muffin left to absorb it. A muffin. Yeah. I had a sandwich and an apple, and I was able to recover really quickly, but that was an interesting experience. Give me 1 second. So yeah, that's about it. Just chatted with my friend. Yeah, over here. Chatted with my friend, and he reminded me it was Natural Light. That was the third beer that I had Drunked? Whatever. I'm too tired to think about English right now. So, yeah, Natural Light. That was it. That was, like I said, I didn't taste any difference from Bud Light. Maybe that'll change as things go on. I don't know, but I like the Budweiser the best. Honestly. I did. This has been Discovering Alcohol this week. I will see you again next week on Monday. This has been Lasersniper, also known as Michael. See you guys next time.